Yeah, you read that right. I'm bothering with this.
I don't. I didn't read anything.
Well, you're currently before I even made the title. This is this again, because Mario did pinball and Sonic did pinball. I don't know who did pinball. Well, Sonic technically did pinball first with Sonic Spinball, but Sonic Spinball has way more charm and stuff to do than this thing does.
So, in the tradition of Sonic, it gets worse each time.
There's no story. I mean,
What do you mean? Peach has returned to the world after Sonic.
But now Dr. Eggman has kidnapped all the animals. In Casinopolis.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah, so it's just like now Sonic's entered a pinball tournament to save them somehow. I don't know.
So,
And Knuckles is here.
I mean, this is not as stupid as Sonic entering a hoverboard competition.
No, it's not.
To one up this guy he saw.
Actually, it's still less. It's still stupider. What makes it less stupid is the fact that he's not paying Chaos Emeralds to Eggman to do it.
Yeah. But, so anyways, now that that's out of the way, first things first, this is something we didn't discuss in the Pokemon video. And this is something we're probably going to rediscuss once more information comes out. What do you think about the idea of the game being quote unquote more like Breath of the Wild, which I assume means more open world?
Well, first off, if it's like that, then that means that there's more stuff to do in that open world.
No, not necessarily.
I know I'm saying that it's at least would imply. So there's more chance because of course Kanto has nothing.
No, I don't think it would imply that. They would just think Breath of the Wild's open. Don't forget that we're talking about Game Freak here.
Yeah, of course we are.
So they might think there's more to do, but it's all meaningless fluff.
I mean, I'd say that there'd be a percentage of meaningless fluff because I think that they must have learned at least some lesson from X and Y. Like they didn't learn every lesson they needed to, but I think they learned some from the darkness of X and Y.
You'd think so, but no, I don't think so. But I'm more cynical.
Yeah,
because
you are.
the battle facility in Sun and Moon is emptier than the one in X and Y. There is less in Sun and Moon than X and Y. For starters, there's no inverse battles.
Well, inverse battles was never given any love in the first place.
There are no triple battles. There are no rotation battles. There's no battle institute.
There's a Battle Factory-esque thing.
Yeah, but every game has that.
That's not actually true.
But Battle Factory. But isn't it terrible?
No, it's not. I played it and it was cool.
Oh,
I mean, the issue is that it didn't go as far as the original Emerald Battle Factory, which was addictive.
I've heard that the Battle Factory in Festival Plaza sucks.
No, I don't see how it sucks.
So, well, I mean, I guess I haven't played it, but
I played it just fine, and I had fun.
I'm more inclined to believe a cynical view of modern Pokemon games, so I think that I'd probably dislike it, but I don't know for sure. But for me, besides the fact that there's no guarantee that they'd fill the open world with stuff to do, I hate when things go down there because it's saved.
Yeah, there's an active ball saver here. I don't know what deactivates it or reactivates it, but when you see the Super Emerald thing right there, then you'll know that your ball is saved.
So basically, I don't like the I don't like the idea of an open world Pokemon.
Well, I don't. When I say that, when I think you mean open world, when you said more open world rather than open world.
I mean, Breath of the Wild sounds like it's going to be just completely open.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I said that like it would be esque, not it would be esque.
Yeah, because Odyssey does have progression, even if it is more open world.
Exactly. That's what the thing. Because I'm saying that if things really did get like bad, to the point where just like things are like underwater now, that means that there's some really big change. Will the gym system even be there? And stuff like that.
For starters, since even though everyone's taking all the rumors together, I'm for now separating those rumors as different entities. So, hey, the post-apocalyptic Kanto, that's one idea, and it's going to be more open is another thing. I'm not going to currently guarantee that it's the same thing. So even if it's just a regular game, but 100% open, I'm interested to see how the progression would work in a game like that, because they'd have to do some sort of scaling where the different areas increase with how strong you are. But I'm not sure if they would do that, because something as simple as when they changed it from the Elite Four getting stronger each time to you can choose how you fight Elite Four, ruined the Elite Four, because since you can fight any of them at any time,
it ruined the Elite Four after the first instance of that, because I still remember the Elite Four of Gen 5. Like, at least 2 of them gave me trouble.
I mean, okay, I'll talk about that, but basically, once everyone was forced to be similar, the same level, because you can fight them in any order, so they don't get stronger. So instead of the Elite Four getting harder and harder, they get easier and easier, and that's a huge problem because.
And then there's the issue. There's the issue of the lowered moves.
Yeah, for me, that's a huge problem. For me, I've never had to refight an Elite Four player post the Gen 4. I just went into Gen 5 and just beat the league in both Black and Black 2, in X and Y, in Omega Ruby.
In Black 2, I didn't do it. In Black 2, I didn't do it, but in Black, oh man, like Marshall destroyed me. But in Omega, in Alpha Sapphire, I didn't breeze through them as much as I thought, but it was still breezy. And then I got to
super breeze.
And then I got to Steven, who kept giga impacting me with his Mega Metagross, and if it were not for my Wabuffet Constantine, I would have lost for the first time.
For me, I went through. I don't remember Omega Ruby's Elite Four at all. I just went through it. The only Pokemon that gave me trouble was a Mega Pokemon, which is Mega Metagross, and I don't find that interesting. If the only thing, he Mega evolved, got super powerful, and made one of my Pokemon faint, and then I killed it, and that was it. It was boring. So I like it's still in any order in Generation 7, right? But it did feel a bit more difficult.
Yeah, it was a bit more. The thing is that
the fact that they had 5 Pokemon instead of everyone having 4.
And not only that, but in Ultra Sun, at least from what I've noticed, people are having distinct strategies now, like distinct meta strategies. So I mean, it was still the Gen 7 Elite Four was hard enough, but I remember them using a bit more strategy, even though the team I had at that point, oh man, my Tyranitar totally just ruined their days.
Also, I don't know if there's some weird AI, because there's something where a Pokemon kept using a terrible move over and over. I know Lusamine did.
It was Pain Split.
Yes.
Because it's registered as a ghost move, but it's not but it's supposed, because it does variable damage depending on HP.
Yeah, Lusamine and somebody else kept
Acerola
healing me with Pain Split. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Oh wow, you should think twice before opening your mouth ever again.
Oh my gosh, Sonic. That's amazing.
And this is the era of petty Sonic Boom as Sonic, but notice who's entered. Shadow's here.
Linda.
Yeah, oh god, no, shut up. Nobody understand anything. Nobody understand.
Evil.
Oh, Dr. Eggman brainwashed him, because he can apparently do that. You're such a moron, Sonic.
So finally, the Tails versus Sonic fight we've been waiting for.
Oh my god.
This is what sweet dreams are made of. So
also, let me just say this from now. The only way that you're ever like getting that amount of points off this board is if you activate the ring letters by going through the ring ring shuttles, or the egg letters. The ring letters will give you a ring bonus that would make rings like appear all over the board, and then basically each ring gives you a lot of points. So you just need to keep collecting rings, and you'll get to the millions in no time.
It wasn't supposed to work, but whatever.
Or the egg thing that I just triggered because I got an egg bonus that made me only have to go through the shuttle once. Basically, if you activate the egg thing and go through that really hard to get to loop there. It's not a loop. Get to ramp. If you do that and you get into the hole where Eggman is, you'll get automatically 10 million points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah. That just shows how little everything else is worth.
Yeah, I don't like when that happens, like Quidditch. I terribly designed game.
Oh boy. But yeah, now if you haven't like defeated the requirement, then you get a bonus where if you go through any of the loops, you get the bonus points as they are counting down. But it's also to the tune of supersonic racing. So that's nice.
Yeah. What was I going to? Oh yeah, I was still talking about open world stuff.
Well, you were talking about Elite Four at that point.
Yeah, I was talking about a lot of different things, but yeah, I'm not sure how the progression would work because I don't have much confidence in them making it work really. But also the fact that I don't think they'd put that much content in it. So
I think especially here's the thing.
They did say don't get your hopes up.
Here's the thing. What Game Freak tends to do is that after a universal bad rep, they tend to try and like fix things with a little thing, and if it does work, then they actually just like go back to being lazy. But if it still doesn't exactly work, then we're like, oh crap, and then we have to do something. So what I expect is that if the management or the mindset does not change, because that's also possible, we can't remember, people can change. Hello? Thank you. If the mindset or the people change, then that wouldn't be a system. But I think that the first Switch game would have to be underwhelming again, and they're just like, oh, first Ultra Sun, then this, and they're like, crap, we're gonna have to actually try again.
I disagree. Well, I think that the games are too successful for them to ever change. Because
well, considering Sun and Moon, despite still not going as far, it did a lot new and a lot better.
I don't know how much people pay attention. I don't know how much Game Freak pays attention to praise anymore. I mean, to criticism anymore, because the games sell. The games always sell, no matter what's done on launch.
Yeah, they're not.
This is new and innovative.
Yeah, they're not reviews, Sega, so
the people who. A lot of people who play Pokemon, they just like Pokemon. They don't really.
And remember, a lot of these are kids.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of players are kids. A lot of reviewers are people who they play Pokemon once, they beat the league, and then they just stop playing. And then, hey, I played it for the review.
Stupid.
Yeah, I played it for the review. I enjoyed it. It was nice, and then they just don't play anymore. Hey, I need my Pokemon fixed. Let me replay this 2 years later. I'm going to play another Pokemon game. It's fine for them. So, but people are more invested in the franchise and spend more time with it. They're probably the people are going to be the ones that are not heard, but they're.
I mean, TV. Here's the thing. There's a certain point where it's impossible to not hear. Like after that whole Ash League business this last time with TV Tokyo, man, just like you'd have to truly be blind and deaf to not realize what you do. I mean, I guess that's maybe why they did it Sun and Moon anime as they did, because now there's no. I mean, they did announce the league is happening in a later episode. They did announce that Kukui is going to try for it. But my thing is just like, now we have this system where we don't have that kind of progression. With stuff like trials still happen, but they just happen whenever Ash actually gets there on like field trips or whatever, and he decides to do them. But between all of that, the only problem with the Sun and Moon anime, other than the fact that Team Skull is still underused up to this point. I don't think they deserve an arc unto themselves after all what could potentially happen. I think they should have been littered throughout stuff a lot more. But my thing is that I wish that Ash was learning more meta concepts? No, that's not right. Learning more I don't know how to say this. Like, how we know how we can memorize like abilities and such of Pokemon, and all the stuff that they do, so that he wouldn't be like surprised so much of stuff in the future. I think that school would make him have to like learn.
You don't think they utilize the school aspect in it?
Yeah, I don't think they utilize it okay, but I don't think they utilize it enough. Oh, hi, Abby. You look suddenly less annoying.
That's debatable.
No, it's not actually. She's much less annoying because she's now straightforward and not telling Sonic to marry her.
Right, that generic trope, boring and interesting.
Which is why Sonic Heroes Amy sucks, and why Sonic Battle Amy sucks, even though she does try really, really hard.
For me, and this is going to be, I don't know if unpopular, but for me, when people are disappointed with Ash losing, it's your own fault, really. It's obviously gonna lose.
No, here's the thing.
There's, I mean,
other than that one
more than ever, that last generation was set up for him to win, but it's obvious that they don't want him to win.
No, here's the thing. Of course it is, but I'm saying that other than that,
because I'm thinking that him winning is probably going to be like the end of his journey.
Well, no. Here's the issue with that. Other than that Orange League thing, which I don't count.
No one does.
No, people do, and I'm like, guys, that was
an Battle Frontier.
What?
Do people count him winning Battle Frontier?
No, which I think would count more than that stupid Orange Island idiocy stuff. It's like, wow, guys, that was literally a filler thing just so we wouldn't feel bad. Come on, it's so obvious. But there's the thing. It's always hilarious. I mean, I don't make fun of people, but it's always hilarious to me where it's like, but guys, he won the Orange Islands. It's just like, I laugh every time. But the thing is, with the whole league, it's not just the league, it's where the arc was moving up. Because X and Y focus a lot more on cohesive storytelling. And all that stuff. So
it was like the big rematch finally.
Yeah, it wasn't just that, but everything, literally everything, story thematically, was working towards that, to the point where we were expecting a draw, and if it was going to be a draw, I'm sure most people would have been fine. But the issue, first off, that battle was unsatisfying for some.
Even if he lost in a satisfying way, but that match seemed like
because
time and space was bending.
Because his match with Shota was much better, but not only that, but there's the issue where Alan shows himself to have multiple amazing Pokemon, like literally 3 pseudo legendaries, I think. Let's see, Tyranitar, Metagross. No, it was 2 pseudo legendaries and a Mega. So just like he's never shown that in his own Mega Evolution special. That was another story thing leading up to thing that would have made sense. But he never showed those guys, and so when those guys come out of nowhere, like, okay. But then there's some calls in that, like Halucha taking up punches to like get pumped up, and like he doesn't have an ability that does that. That's what? You're making it force him to take damage just so that afterwards you can justify being thrown out earlier.
Honestly, for me, and this is basically, yeah, it seems that they're trying too hard to justify it, because things like a lot of Pokemon on both sides being lost in really ridiculous ways.
The guillotine scene, I will always remember.
The guillotine scene is amazing. The problem for me, why I didn't expect him to win, is that they made up an entire new thing just for him and his Greninja, and if he won just because of the extra special Greninja nonsense, it would not have been satisfying.
Yeah, but here's the thing, he didn't. It wasn't like what was not satisfying was the first match where he was like, where he like one shot an Altaria with it, and I was like, okay, no. But,
yeah, that's the problem.
But the thing is that
they put themselves in a corner where nothing would have been satisfying.
The thing is that my issue is that the decisions for that battle with how the Pokemon were listed, because Pikachu like took out 2 major, huge Pokemon. Like, I can accept that if it weren't for like sort of health thing, because we know Pikachu's awesome.
Yeah,
but
it's almost like everyone else was made lamer for Pikachu to be so cool.
yeah, and for Greninja to save the day. Just like the decisions in that battle sort of started bringing out bad flags. So it's like, okay, no. But the story, everything story thematically, from the Mega Evolution special and everything past that, because Alan's still part of Team Flare. So everything thematically just like was leading up to a win or a draw, but we were like, okay, if they're still set in their ways for Ash to never win, at least a draw makes sense thematically, and it will be
that's
fine.
why, even though people complain about it, a much more satisfying fight was Ash versus Tobias.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was incredibly satisfying.
I thought it was stupid.
The battle was great.
No, it
Even
wasn't.
if he didn't win, everyone was like, we knew he didn't win because he faced legendaries, but he still was the only person to defeat one, and he had an awesome fight. I don't
first
mind
off,
him losing because he lost in an awesome way.
First off,
100%
not from my animation remembrance, because the Diamond and Pearl animation was terrible.
I remember loving the Diamond and Pearl League.
Well,
the only thing that
maybe
gets
the
me
league
is
did
the gibble nonsense.
just like, oh, it's Sludge Bomb.
Foolishly, that should have
just
died.
like it was like almost like he was enjoying it. Just like, why?
And Ash forever bumped up the reputation of Noctowl. Extrasensory became the most badass move ever.
But here's the thing. My thing is that maybe they did improve the Animation League. My issue with how they handled that is only because Tobias came absolutely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If he showed up like even once in some sort of capacity.
But if he showed up even once, everyone knew he'd lose to
well,
him.
no, as in just here's the thing.
Okay, if there's a random episode with this
if it was like
episode.
implied like he was affiliated with Darkrai or something like that, and if he wasn't shown that he had it, but like maybe even implied that he was affiliated with it or something like that, then you'd see Tobias and then you're just like, oh cool, oh my god, he actually has that Darkrai, and then we continue there. But the fact, my issue is that he comes out of nowhere.
He's definitely shown, and it's obvious, it's not subtle at all, that he was created so
Specifically,
that Ash
especially since Ash's Sinnoh team is one of his strongest.
yeah.
Um,
I prefer his Sinnoh. I'm probably one of the only people who prefer his Sinnoh team to his Kalos team, mainly because I don't like extra special. Look at me, Mom, Greninja.
I was fine with that, except until it became the Greninja show for a bit. And even when they made an arc about how him relying on Greninja way too much in the Wolfric battle, he still won with Greninja. So I'm just like, you couldn't have done something else with it? I don't hate it, I just hate how it was done. And as I said, between all the other stuff being spiraled into one direction or another direction, a draw was still something of like,
Yeah,
okay,
they could have done a draw.
they could have easily just done a draw, but no, there's nothing in my book that says that this couldn't have been a draw. There was nothing, especially with the whole thematics and everything. And so I'm sitting here saying that even with all of the weird decisions with the whole Alan thing, at the end, and with that weird battle, just if that was a draw, I would have been fine. I'm sure a lot of people would have been fine.
Most people have been fine.
I'm not sure about most, because a lot of Pokemon people are fickle and they want very specific things, but I'm not sure how many.
Yeah.
I don't have a good grasp on it.
That fight was so amazing that for like the first time I went to the anime photo board, because I just needed to see people complain there as well. It was
Dude,
beautiful.
you should see the Japanese thing of it. The Japanese airing where like even the titles in Japanese, and it's TV Tokyo like posting greatest fights or something. If you see the dislike bar, and I can't read Japanese, well, I can to an extent, but I didn't go far in that class, rip. But just like, I can't read Japanese well, but I could tell that there was some angry letters.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I said. A draw would have been just fine.
Also on that, just going back to the main games for a second, I actually remember someone saying that they were looking through reviews of Generation 6 and 7, and I think I don't remember what's the one people really dislike the most. I think, but I know they more or less have the same views as the West in terms of Generation 6 and 7 do have a lot of problems.
You mean the games?
Yeah, the games.
Okay.
I guess I'm kind of vague because I don't really remember it specifically because I stopped going on pretty much every Pokemon related.
I just go on those. I just go on them for the pictures and the fan art.
Once I lost interest, I'm like, I have no reason to even talk to anybody about Pokemon anymore. That's so.
Except I'm here.
Yeah, that's how much I got burned from modern Pokemon. But yeah.
But as I said, between that, even the arc later, where some cool things happened, my thing is that they cleaned up too many. Well, they cleaned up the Malamar plot point too quickly because it was building up, and I was like, it turns out that the second Malamar episode was like the huge climax. And like, really? Come on,
Sounds like Adventure Time.
A bunch of Malamars trying to take over the world, and you ended that? Just like that's the climax, really? And they just like had an after thing with 06 Malamar. I'm like, come on, guys, we had potential. The first Malamar episode was so amazing. But just like that got cleaned up too quickly, and then the whole Serena kiss thing, which I was like, okay, I know because of how Japanese censors are, especially in the kids show, like. You can't really for kids shows, you can't show kisses on the mouth, and you can't show any dismemberment. So dismemberment even carries over to just slightly teen shows. It's actually a really big thing. That's why Gohan losing an arm was actually like I think a big thing, to the point where even in the games would refuse to code it that him without an arm, so they just made him not use one in his fight. But yeah, because when that actually happened, because the thing is that I wasn't a big shipper, but I have fun with shipping. I just have fun with it. And my issue with Serena is that
I'm not interested in ships 90% of the time. There are a few I like, and the few I like shows how bad taste I have.
I don't even. Let's get to your terrible taste afterwards, so I can mock you. But my thing is that once that happened, I was just like, technically that's like pushing some real boundaries here. This is because even though I don't like how Serena was handled as a character, like some of her arcs were good, but with how she was handled, I was like, okay, this is another instance of you didn't go far enough. And that final battle, that final contest showcase thing, just like was a bit more sloppily handled than I'd like. Yeah. But between all of that, why did that not go into the... At least the ball was saved. Between all of that, when that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. You should watch like KG Prestige's... Oh my god, I think that's down now because his channel got destroyed. But yeah, he should have watched KG Prestige's reaction. He couldn't believe it. He was stuck like laughing and crying for like so many minutes because I think he was really into it. But when that happened and she like left, I was like, okay, what's Ash's reaction? Because even if it's just bewilderment, just full bewilderment, just like, I'm fine. But then he like smiled and like tilted up his cap like, that was the most generic thing ever. What is wrong with you?
I mean, Ash is the most generic thing ever.
Not in Sun and Moon, and that's why I love him.
Yeah.
This just before Sun and Moon, just like and all of that, just like X and Y, the anime, was like the pinnacle of you had it right. You had it almost completely right until the very end. And even if you did it correctly in the end, you somehow did something that made it not as good.
I didn't watch much of X and Y, and so my opinions are clearly like not accurate. But for me, X and Y the anime felt like X and Y the game, in that it felt super polished, but it also felt like it had no personality.
No, dude, it had a lot of personality.
Yeah, for me it felt like
maybe you needed to watch a bit later or watch more.
It was like, but this is a well executed anime
For
and that's it.
For me, that was like just the companion dynamic.
Because I have
this
terrible
time.
taste.
Yes, you
I
do.
love Black and White season 1.
And I despise almost everything Black and White stands for.
Yeah, most people do, but I love the characters and the personalities.
The characters and the personalities made me want to jump off a cliff. That you like them. I don't know. We like such different things about stuff in this franchise. I don't know why we're friends. Actually, our friendship isn't hinged on it. But God, you have such garbage taste. But between all of that, I'm just like the dynamic between the companions was great. The Pokemon interactions, they really stepped them up this time, where they truly did have like multifaceted characters. In terms of the Pokemon, and Team Rocket were fun because I think that they truly hit that sweet spot of competent and funny. Of course, between all of that, it's what I love in Sun and Moon is the fact that because everybody still has like personality and all that stuff, I like I like the comedic interactions a lot more because they're not based on external comedy. They're based on character comedy.
Why doesn't Team Rocket just go to a region Ash has already been to?
Well, Team Rocket is already like sets up in certain regions. I
guess they're forced to go beyond the first 4 generations because the rest of Team Rocket's still there.
And not the only thing is that Black and White, I think, other than the Rocket invasion that happened, most Team Rocket pulled out of that. And the thing is that now, since Giovanni is like having them as their like top agents ever since that incident with Meloetta, just the fact is that they're establishing bases in Sun and Moon. No, they're establishing bases in Alola and giving Giovanni information for future takeover. And it's shown in one episode that I think Giovanni like calls is on the phone with Nanu at one point, like, meaning that something's going to lead up. Maybe that's like its own version of the Rainbow Rocket arc kind of thing.
So basically, they're actually successful in Alola.
They're successful enough. It's more like they keep bullcrapping their way through reports because they're not actually successful enough, but they manage to get enough information and word it in such a way that Giovanni doesn't ever suspect that
maybe they're
incompetent.
that good that they get a lot done, but they just don't get enough done.
Here's the thing. Because they get a Darkinium Z and a Mimikyu MZ, which is great. Yeah, thanks, Amy. Which is great. But they also like give information on like Beware being like super, super strong. Of course it had to be Metal Sonic. Being super, super strong. And just like they caught... Technically every Pokemon they have possession of there is rare. And the Alolan Meowth that they technically had... is super smart, and now Matori has it as an assistant, so even she approves of them to a level. So they're giving great information.
Neo Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, it's based off the Sonic Advance 1 thing. Remember? We are the one that was more on the beach.
That's nice.
But yeah, so they're giving information, they're giving intel and other stuff, and they have set up a base. It's just that they don't report their failures. They sort of omit things from their reports.
They're basically, I guess they're top agents enough that they can just report for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
In old Team Rocket lore, they used to have like a woman with a delibird like monitor their progress and then basically after too many failures, Giovanni just stopped caring about them until they really got their act together at a later point, and then they saved his life, and so now they're top agents again.
I mean, they're generally... Are they still evil?
Sort of. They're still... Here's the thing. Jesse's prideful and a jerk. James is still a cool dude. And really loves this Pokemon. I mean, Jessie does too. She does a lot for Mimikyu, even if Mimikyu's hard to work with. But... In tandem with that, they don't really attack anybody but Ash and friends. Like they even go on their little adventures. They tried specifically catching Pokemon for themselves, just like away from Ash and everybody, like in one episode. It's just that they got terrible luck. They were going to use a special Pokemon net, but they caught a Sharpedo, and rough skin, giant teeth. No, they were going to get a Cloyster, but it actually ate the ball when it was about to activate. There was a whole bunch of stuff, but they got Marini out of that, and Marini is really tough, so they got a good deal.
So basically, continuing to show that once they stop trying to be Team Rocket, they're successful.
Yes.
And that's a nice consistency, like SpongeBob being talented.
Well, in SpongeBob's case, the consistency that's back.
Yeah, consistency that's back. So yeah, if we're gonna segue away from the Pokemon anime now.
Are we? Because am I
You have
done?
more to say? Because I don't watch the anime, so
Yeah,
I don't have much. Just because I read it only, and that's why my relationship with Pokemon has ended. I only cared about the main games, and then I stopped liking them.
Yeah, well, maybe you should I said the anime is very interesting with how it handles stuff, especially since it's now non-linear is not the right word, but because they can just do
freeform.
Yeah, because they can just do what they want. Things aren't exactly things aren't exactly structured where nothing means anything, even though everyone's like filler and just a whole bunch of babies.
I don't care about filler as long as it's interesting.
Exactly. Even they act like filler is the spawn of the devil. First off, they act like anything.
Like the best part of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, technically,
no.
Well, okay.
It was a lot of
technically,
Avatar.
none of it is filler,
yes,
because all of it filler specifically made up stuff that's not from a manga. So since Avatar is
things that progress story and character, but
okay, isn't filler specifically about episodes of an anime that are made?
Yes, but I'm saying
so
in terms
a colloquial term.
I'm saying in terms of the internet. That's what people put filler as now.
Yeah.
But my thing is that a lot of these episodes are more interesting than the random, okay, we're going somewhere, I guess we're gonna stop here, just help this guy with his Pokemon, and now we're done. It's like a lot of them are way better than that. Just like Kukui and Burnett's wedding, come on. And between everything else.
Married?
No, they weren't married, they got married in this series. It was really cool and really sweet, and Delia is fine because Delia has shown up, and she turns out to get along well with Litten, but that's not a Torracat. So,
do any of the Unova professors show up at the wedding?
No, I mean that would be a nice touch, but it was a small wedding, but the Aether Foundation sponsored it. So with all of that, just it was super cute and great and everything, but I now feel that Delia, I love you and everything, but you don't do much, and now I want Kukui and Burnett to be Ash's parents because
isn't her name Delilah?
No, it's Delia.
That's dumb.
But
Ash's dad is Professor Oak.
Don't you start with me. But it's on a thing where it's just they have such a beautiful family dynamic. It's so good. It really feels like Ash is just coming home after school and to his parents and everything.
How are they going to continue the anime with this post-apocalyptic nonsense?
How are they going to continue the anime with this post-apocalyptic nonsense? Maybe they'll just have another filler season until we get to the true
Maybe
thing.
they'll go to Kanto and it's just some arc.
Maybe that will be the Team Rocket, Rainbow Rocket arc version. But yeah, so he just comes home and it's like they're his actual parents. The fact that he lives with them, does his laundry and everything there at their house, and
so does
plays
Lily
games.
still live with them?
No, Lily lives on her own with her butler. She's always done that. Ash is the one living in the loft.
Okay.
So yeah, the fact that it's just such a beautiful family dynamic between them. It's great to the point where it's Ash is about to leave in the morning, and the Kukui is like, "Hey, don't forget your school project." And he's just runs back in and gets it. At that point, him and Burnett are Burnett are like on the couch and Burnett's like sipping coffee. Like, they are family. It's so
Especially
perfect.
since Ash gets more tan with every season.
Yes,
It's pretty much looks like
exactly. It's just so perfect. Because people are just like, oh, now he's staying in one place. Or just like, him staying in one place has actually brought out so many different situations. Because there's one point where Kukui had to leave for a bit. It's like, okay, Ash, I'm leaving you here. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to make my own food and do my own laundry. And he destroys the laundry room.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have Brock or
Silent or Clement to do like the stuff with him, because especially since it's not in a camp situation, because he usually like washes his clothes like in a river or whatever, he actually has to deal with an actual laundry machine, and he does not know how to use it, and it was super interesting. And just like, you have all of these new things, and you guys are just like, oh, but what about traveling to the towns? What about back then? You mean the thing we've been doing for forever?
yeah, but at the same
And have
time,
exhausted so many possibilities already, to the point where even stuff in black and white had to take stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's clear that they've done everything. Because Black and White had to change the formula, Sun and Moon, X and Y had to change the formula, Sun and Moon had to change the formula. It's clear that they don't want to go back to the original formula.
Yeah, just not only that, but they did Kanto fan service well. They actually did it well with what they did.
People actually like those episodes.
Those episodes were phenomenal. It was great because like during a Misty battle, where she uses Mega Gyarados, and Ash pulls up some crazy maneuvers, and she's like, they're awestruck, but Brock is like laughing because he's been through 2 more seasons of Ash's garbage than Misty has, so he knows what he's capable of.
Good point. Yes, a very good point.
Yeah, so he knows what he's capable of.
Back in the original clothes, right?
Yes. And her banter with him is much, I don't know if it's because it was the English dub I was watching, but it's much less mean-spirited. And so it was much more fun. And then there's that with Brock being like
super buff.
Oh yes, him being super buff. I was like, Brock, all you had to do all this time to get the girl is take off your shirt once, like once. But before that, they didn't reduce Brock to a plank of wood like Diamond and Pearl did.
Yeah.
So just like they brought that back, it was so bouncy. They brought back Jigglypuff. And Jigglypuff even had an episode where he just like stowed away on the plane and then had to deal with Kamala at school. And it's the only thing in Sun and Moon right now where I'm like, okay, but why though? Is Samuel Oak?
Oh, right.
Oh wait, no, Samson. Is it Samson? Samson, yeah. His thing is that he makes Pokemon puns and he's extremely easygoing, but the puns suck and he's kind of annoying. But other than him just being, I don't even know what his role at the school is. He just has his Kamala ring the bell and he like shows up sometimes and like maybe teaches classes.
He's like Dr. House or the Doctor.
It's weird, but he's not. He is annoying to me, but he's not anything where I'm like, ugh, why are you here, like at all. And not only that, but the issue is that because there are so many people being focused on sometimes, somebody had to be left behind, and that had to be Sophocles.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
He got some special episodes, which were interesting, like the Celesteela episode. But just Lana is everybody's darling because of her playful but also like snarky nature. Malo is like the big sis to everybody, which was like hilarious, that moment where she went to the Oran Guru bar and started like ranting about her problems.
Oh, that sounds great.
But the thing is that Oran Guru, because he sounds like a tired instructor. So in I think Japanese, his Japanese name is Yare Yare, which means good grief. So basically him acting as a bartender because he's smart enough to run a bar that multiple characters go at multiple times. But before I get that, with the whole stuff in the bar, he just keeps saying yare yare, which just means, oh, good grief, like, oh boy, what a problem. what a problem you're having. He's like, yeah, and then there's this, it's like almost like drunk rambling to the point where Meowth, after he thinks that he might be, he's being upstaged by a lowland Meowth, he goes to the bar and gets himself wasted. it's just so good. Furthermore, they did things with Malo's family, and just like they had the little mini character arcs. The character I thought would flop definitely. Even
Kiawe?
Yes,
And everyone loves him the most.
Kiawe is like the thing that they do with Kiawe is that he's super serious, but he's super serious about everything. Not like Silent, where it's like, oh, I'm a bed connoisseur, I'm a train connoisseur, I want to kill you. Anyways.
That's hilarious.
Just like, other than that, he just like, gets super fired up about everything and treats everything seriously, to the point where Ash loses his Z crystal. As like, okay, he asks his friends to help him. He's like, alright, but we can't let Kiawe know. Just he treats just this entire thing as sacred. He will destroy you if he hears you lost the Z crystal. And they, like, while he's looking for it, they have comedic attempts to try and divert his attention until he does find out. And he's getting ready to use Inferno Overdrive on Ash. And it was great. And then there's the stuff with Kiawe's family where it turns out he's, like, super protective of his little sister.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it's... And his family was interesting. I kind of wish they went with the angle in the game, because it wasn't a big thing, but the fact that like the farmer sprite was white and the normal wife sprite was black, I was like, oh, that's cool. But they just made them all.
That's made up a family frame.
Yeah, you saw his family, in Sun and Moon. You can go to his house, and because his family has generic sprites, the farmer was white. And the wife was black, and like, okay, cool. I wonder if they're gonna do it in anime. No, they're all black. I'm like, well, at least they have interesting designs and good personality. I'm not burned up about it. I just thought it would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been.
But between all of that and Team Rocket, especially Team Rocket legitimately winning for the first time ever, that was also cool, because it just showed that, just like, yeah, Ash didn't really have a lot of Pokemon at that point. And then Then with the stuff with Lycanroc's new form and the Kahunas. The Kahunas were fun because Hala seemed like he was going to be like that random old guy stuff. Like, yeah, he's jolly, but he showed up a little bit just in some arcs, and like, okay, that's cool. And then Olivia, they gave her like a slightly different personality where she's super loving. She's almost like the fun aunt, but she's also sort of inept.
Like, I mean, there's a whole thing about her being unable to
get a date.
So that's they probably went with. Why would she be like that?
Yeah, they didn't focus on that. I don't think it's even been brought up. The manga brought it up. It was hilarious. But yeah, so she's like this fun aunt, but she's also kind of inept. But that was the same, but the point where just like Ash, who hasn't done a lot of training, when he's done a lot of training, but not to his normal level, at this point, because technically he's doing a lot of trials with his friends, so he's not overcoming the thing by alone. So when he goes to Nano, it's like, okay, Nanu, I want to take the trials on this island. And I was like, no, get out of my house.
That's great.
Furthermore, it's like, wait, no, I'm ready. No, you're not. Leave. So Nanu doesn't care. It's only when Acerola like steals his Kendama toy and just like holds it hostage. He's just like, I still am saying no. Like, why don't you give him like a pre-trial to see if he's ready for the normal trial? He's like, fine. And it's the only thing about that is that they wanted to have an arc with Lycanroc, but the issue is that in order to keep that arc up, they made him fight one of Nanu's Pokemon, but they chose Crocodile. Like, that is literally the worst decision to send a Lycanroc out to. Like, there's no move that it knows other than, I forget if it was like one normal move that he knows. But I'd say 3 out of 4 moves that he knows are less than effective against a Crocodile. He could have just tried Rowlet. I mean, Rowlet has been shown to be super competent when he tries, but usually he doesn't try because he's like super
Comedy
chill.
relief.
Well,
bird.
no, he's actually funny as comedy relief.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he seems to be the joke character.
yeah, he's a character. That entire episode where he's alone with Popplio, and they have to get back was hilarious. But yeah, he just falls asleep a lot, but to the point where, in order to train up for his next fight with Nanu, him and Ash and Acerola are actually going to the desert to find Tapu Bulu, and they find Tapu Bulu sleeping, and then Rowlet just perches on top of the island god and just starts sleeping too.
Yeah, I mean, that as you do.
Oh man, but I'd say the Sun and Moon, despite what there are less people whining about it, especially after they realize that the animation is amazing.
Animation and art style are two different things.
Yes, especially since the animation, the X and Y animation focused on external motion and direction. Like you'd always know where a Pokemon was in relation to another. Not like those, we're going to hold up a screen where they hit it and hold up a screen where they fall in Diamond and Pearl. So and Black and White sometimes too. So just like you almost always knew the direction of which the attacks were and the environment. But in this one, it's individual motion.
So
you can see, there's a whole bunch of subtle, very fluid movement with each of the Pokemon's attacks. And sure, direction still plays a big part of it, but not as much as individual fluid motion, and it looks gorgeous. You should see the scene where Gyarados is chasing Pikachu. It's just amazing.
I'm assuming it is. But yeah, when you started this, you said you had specific ideas, like things you wanted to talk about?
I did, but then I was like, I actually don't. It's just like, we need to save that for that. Need to save that for that. And let's just say that I've spent like most of the time just like talking here, specifically off of stuff just from my head. I didn't pick out choose like, okay, if he mentions the anime, let's bring up the anime. But I just had a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of the anime, so that was great. So do you want to say something?
Well,
or you want to change the subject?
I have nothing to. I don't watch the anime, so I have not much.
You don't
to
watch
say.
a lot of things, like I tell you, dude. Just like even your girlfriend, just like when I said, hey, back in Monogatari, and then you're like, you know what she likes. I was like, oh, you should totally watch it. And you're like, maybe. And let's add that to the growing pile. Just, you are going to be Patrick coming home at 12 o'clock. Or just like, oh, it's just one anime show I didn't watch. Oh, that just mean thing. And then just I'll go up to the pile where there's a whole bunch of anime characters stuffed in a pile. In fact, if once I get my files back, I might just make that.
The worst thing that happened to television was that it got good again.
Yeah, dude. Do you remember the dry period?
Yeah,
holy crap.
There's just so much good TV now. There's good animation now. There's good anime. There's good film.
Live action.
It's too much, honestly. I remember.
I mean, that's why we have summer, dude.
Yeah,
what you need to do is go back to school. Okay, not. That's not what I meant. Go to the school place, just like dedicate like a day or whatever to just like have a list of stuff that you want to download.
I mean, it doesn't make sense I get everything at once because I'm only going to. I watch a few at a time anyway.
Yeah, but why not? But at least it's having rather than have to wait till later.
Yeah, I may as well have to do that because I do that with like, well, no, we shouldn't be talking about things in terms of. I don't download. I watch them in completely normal ways.
Yes.
From streaming sites.
Yes.
And television, of course.
Yes.
So in this hypothetical situation you're talking about,
yes,
where I should possibly dedicate a day to getting things to watch, that sounds like a good idea.
Exactly.
In that idea just floats in the aether somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, I remember that I have a lot of different things to watch right now, like because I've caught And I already said this to you, but unfortunately, Last Man on Earth got cancelled, so I'm caught up now. So suddenly, I'm caught up. Unfortunately, I just haven't got the time. I don't know where that came from. I haven't got the time to watch any of The Simpsons or Bob's Burgers. So I am now a season behind on both of those shows. I don't care about Family Guy because no one does. I'm a season behind on both of those shows. Maybe 2 seasons behind in Bob's Burgers case. I'm going to have to catch up on that nonsense. So I don't know. I'm going to have to just... And I don't usually do this. The last time I marathoned a show, like all in one night, was the day I marathoned Steven Universe and Adventure Time and regretted it because Adventure Time sucks. Well, I mean,
well, it doesn't.
Better.
Yeah, it got better, but at that point,
at
that
that
was
point,
done
I
for
just
you.
didn't care. So,
even though so many arcs are great now, and the miniseries arcs were great.
It's just terrible timing, honestly. Especially since it's ending, and the ending seems satisfying to people.
Wait, it already ended?
It should have probably already ended.
Because I know there was like a 4-part episode where and it was very close. But the thing is that Cartoon Network never announced it.
Yeah.
So I might
Cartoon
just check.
Network did the regular show dirty. They released episodes without telling people. They just terrible.
I might have to check the wiki to see, because I heard nothing about. I mean, I know what the ending is going to be about, but I've heard nothing about it being released.
Yeah, so the most I do right now is watch shows in short bursts. Like I'd get.
Yet you won't finish Inferno Cop.
Oh, I did today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was fine.
It was like 3 minutes, dude. Don't act like that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, it wasn't an accomplishment, but it was good. I'm glad I watched it.
I wonder about that.
I like how they purposely had very little different stock people and kept reusing them. Because I was like, wait, is that guy back? And then I like that they don't explain it. So you figure out for yourself that they're just reusing the same models for different people. And that was good.
And of course, as I've said before, the best jokes involved is like, all right, I guess we're going to Egypt. Man, so this is Egypt. Yeah. Just like that's something about that timing is so perfect.
Timing is so important in humor.
Like, I mean, just like that reminds me of back when like I watched New Fairly Odd Parents, and I was like, holy crap, the timing of this is great.
Yeah, and honestly, I legitimately, and this is where I'm gonna have to start making videos about animation, because everyone kind of decided ahead of time that they didn't like the most recent season, and I feel a lot of it isn't that genuine. Because I legitimately don't get it. The humor here seems to be so good that I don't understand the hate. But well, I mean, different opinions, I guess. So I think that, like it seems like, and I think it's the difference between early Fairly Odd Parents and later Fairly Odd Parents. And it's definitely a advantage of early Fairly Odd Parents, where the humor seems to come from the world in early Fairly Odd Parents. But in later seasons, they go out of the way to actually try to specifically make jokes. So if you don't like the jokes, it is probably going to be less interesting for you. But I definitely see why they're trying to do wordplay and meta humor and stuff like that, and I like it. I really like it. Which is why I am one of those people. I'm not one of those people who are like, everything in seasons 1 to 5 is better than everything in season 6 to 10.
No. See, you mean the people who believe everything season 1 to 4? Because season 5 is when they start losing their wands for every single thing, isn't it?
Okay. And that's the thing about Fairly Odd Parents, where it's like a less obvious version of Simpsons, where everyone says, I liked the good seasons. So what are the good seasons? And everyone has different answers. But there are people who say it got stale after season 3. And I can see why
people who say they got stale after Poof. I'm like, really? It got stale after Sparky. That's where that hit me.
Yeah, I personally, I think Poof was when the show got reinvigorated, honestly. My thing, season 5 was the whole, all the plots are boring, everyone loses their wands.
But my thing, though, that made me stop watching the show is Poof talking. Because
You didn't watch the show.
No,
you
no.
just saw the episode and you're like, I hate this
No,
voice.
here's the thing. I did no. When it came to new Fairly Odd Parents episodes, I was curious, but it wasn't. It just like I said, TV not really the big thing. But then you showed. Then it was like, hey, what? Hey, look at this. And then his voice was even lower than Timmy's.
That was
and
the
I was
problem.
like, I'm out. No,
that
you
was
lost
the problem.
me.
The thing is, because Tara Strong voices Poof, they wanted Tara Strong to voice older Poof, and so but Tara Strong already voices Timmy, so they couldn't go higher than Timmy because then that would just become Bubbles. So they had to go lower than Timmy, and that was a problem. Because Poof pretty much sounds like Ben 10 in his first appearance, and it didn't work. Which is why
I'm glad we agree.
in his second appearance, they went slightly lighter, and like this works. But then,
the damage has already been done to my psyche.
The problem
That was
was
psychological warfare.
once season 10 came, and they're like, "Oh, we have way too many characters. We can't handle this. Goodbye, Sparky. Good decision."
Well, yeah, very good decision.
And they're like, "We'll retire Poof for now." Which I'm like, I wish they didn't.
The issue is
I'm
that
fine with it.
the issue is that
if Butch Hartman didn't leave the channel, we'd have probably had another season with Poof being there more regularly, which I was excited for. I'm like, yes, we've done the whole established Tibby Chloe relationship. Now let's go further with it. Butch Hartman's like, nah, we'll leave. Oh well.
at least he's making podcasts.
Yeah, he's now the most. No matter what you think of Modern Fairly Odd Parents, Butch Hartman has completely fixed his reputation. Is now everyone loves him. Compared to like,
not everybody. I've seen some people hate him,
well,
but I don't know
those
why.
losers. How can he hate someone so wholesome?
Well, that's like, here's the thing. Just like that's like people. I don't know. No, that's not right. Because I was going to say I don't know if people consider him the next Stefan Carl, but but Robbie Rotten.
Oh.
May he find peace in his last days.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is that I don't know if people like count
He's like animation dad. Nobody else is that. No other animator is that into the community. The closest is probably Craig McCracken, but he kind of keeps to himself.
What? Yeah, I was like, what the heck has he been up to? I haven't heard anything around him.
I'm sure. I think he's doing another cartoon for Disney. But yeah, he's like he and also it was so weird because there's some sort of thing where everyone kind of just no one really talks about each other's show. He's just like, here's how Teen Titans Go could be better. He's not putting any punch. He was like, wow, this trailer is like Teen Titans movie. Let's talk about the problems of this.
Oh wait a minute, was that him?
Yeah.
No, what did he also make the follow-up video where like the second trailer came out? I was like, wait, this is actually kind of cool.
Well,
was that him?
A lot of different people probably did.
No,
that.
but there was some famous guy who did that.
Well, maybe it was him, but I know that he does not shy away from just talking about what he thinks of. I remember this whole episode where he was talking about the prequels, the Star Wars prequels. Like, you don't really hear creators talking about other creators' work. So I like that. I like that he's willing to do that. So yeah, animation dad compared to John Kay did Ren and Stimpy when everyone realizes he's a jerk and possibly a sexual assaulter because everyone in Hollywood is. So
I mean, considering humor, I don't like saying that explicitly, but just like the humor got really raunchy at some points.
Yeah, well,
and then there was the adult party cartoon.
Yeah, which I know someone who I know who hates adult party cartoon because it's like not subtle, while the regular show was subtle, so it was better. Which I agree. I mean, I haven't seen it.
I honestly, I've only watched one episode of Ren and Stimpy.
I've
seen clips of other stuff, but not the full episodes.
I've seen the only episode of Ren and Stimpy I specifically remember is the one where they were in space and they went to a black hole and their faces caved in and I got nightmares.
Oh, is this going to be another nightmare discussion?
No,
Are we going to do this again?
I end there. Well, I didn't get nightmares because I don't get nightmares.
You mean you don't remember your dreams?
No, the scariest nightmare in quotes I remember is
It's probably something incredibly sissy, but
silly, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sissy, but yes. We were having a group meeting at my grandmother's house.
What?
And for school. And then a dinosaur came out of the ground and ate someone. And we're like, oh my goodness! And we all ran away. We were running outside.
But it's
the
a
house.
dream. You can barely actually run.
No, we were all straight up action move. We were running.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Because there's no feedback with your legs actually moving. Most people, when they envision themselves running away from something, they're like painfully slow.
We were running like nobody's business, and we went through the gate, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta close back the gate. And the dinosaur.
I remember a dinosaur. A gate is going to stop it.
And we ran down the road, and I saw a car just for like a split second. It turned into Grand Theft Auto. I was like, get out of this! I was jumped into the car and drove off, and the dream ended.
That doesn't sound like a nightmare. That sounds like you rocked.
I know. And then the other scariest dream I've had was I was playing Pokemon.
And then it turns out they made an X and Y too.
No, that's not a dream. That's, well, I guess that's a dream because there is no X and Y 2. Actually, X and Y 2 would have probably been good. But yeah, basically, a net walked up to me and they made a really loud noise. And then I woke up.
You are lame.
No, there's another dream.
Okay, let's hear this and then I'll share my dreams.
Yeah, there's another dream where I saw text on a screen and it was some ancient evil inscriptions that felt like it was possessing me. I was like, oh no, and then I scrolled down and it felt like it was taking over my entire body. I was like, that's so weird. You know, I'm gonna scroll back up again just to see if it actually happens again.
You are not only lame, but an imbecile.
Stupid. I know it sounds so stupid. I'm like, okay, let me scroll back up. Oh my gosh, it happens again. And I scrolled back down and then I woke up. My dreams are so boring.
Like,
but they're not boring, they're awesome, but they're not scary.
Well, let me tell you a tale. Well, first off, there is a recent dream, because I suffer from some sleep paralysis issues sometimes. But there's a recent dream where I was like Kirby. Like, I was like a Kirby thing.
Good start.
And I was like defeating monsters, and yeah, that was like, it was like super cool. But then I was at church as Kirby. And I was like, oh, yes, Kirby goes to church, you'd play it.
I mean, who wouldn't play?
But just like, yeah, okay. But then there were still monsters, like, alright, sure, and I'm just fighting monsters and everything. I think it wasn't like an active church service, I think only like the pastor and stuff were there. But then this fallen angel thing that looked like Kefka, the form of Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, just like came up. And then just like, okay, I guess I'm fighting this now. And then I did fight it, and then I won.
But the scary fight.
No, hold on, I won. But then it was dying, and then suddenly, like, it seemed like the screen, because it seemed like the entire place melted into red. And just, like, suddenly, like, everything got, like, into super gothic, and just, it was weird. And, like, I felt like a pulse in my body and everything, and that was sleep paralysis. Like, oh no, I'm dying. But the worst dream I had, well, apart from the one where I was 4, where I hallucinated about my dead aunt, who was not dead. But the worst one that I had was where I was like on an adventure. I was like going through weird places, but then I went to my grandmother's old house. I went into my aunt's room there. I was like super cramped and stuff, but it's like, okay, that's fine. And I see this weird ball thing, and then it starts spurting out water like it's peeing on me. Like, alright, this is like, okay, this is disturbing.
So stupid.
No, hold on, dude, it was, when I say ball thing, I don't mean like a ball, I mean like some orb of malice and hatred. But it like started like peeing on me, so I was like, okay, it's stupid. But then like the corners of the room started turning black, and like it started encroaching. And then I was like, oh, okay, and then I like go on the bed while I'm like waiting for like the entire thing to go to abyss. But then like the cover started sprawling over me as well, and I heard a laugh, like a woman's laughter. The most evil thing. Like, I'm not meme evil, like actual evil thing that I've
as
ever.
evil as my creepy text.
Eviler. It's like I'm going to go out on the limb and say it was eviler, but just like it was the most evil thing I've ever just like heard from that. And then just like at that point, just like I heard laughing, but then I was like I woke up, and it's like, but I still heard the laughing, and then just like full body paralysis, like the worst than ever before. I couldn't breathe, dude. I was like, okay, that's it. Jesus help! I'm gonna die. I'm going to die. And I spent like 1 to 2 hours like praying just in case, because you have not experienced that, man. I was scared because I couldn't go to, because like I was like sitting on the bed like after that night rolled around. I was like, how am I ever gonna get to sleep again?
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's not the age of social media where if my mind is not social media, if my mind is too racy, I just play a video and go to sleep with it on my phone. So I'm like, yeah.
It's just because my mind goes through a lot of things. What I've had to go through lately is basically trying to ignore my childhood trauma thoughts. With the skull and crossbones from Cat Dog and King Ramses and all that stuff.
That last time we talked about their fears, that reignited it?
No, it didn't reignite it. Actually, the dream that I had that time was actually a weird thing, because I can almost like have a cycle, because whenever I think I don't do enough work for the day, I have a dream where I'm at school.
Right.
And I don't know if I didn't do enough work. Maybe I felt like I didn't. But yeah, so I just like dreamt that I was at school, but it was just like, oh man, just like you missed out this class, like but the homework, like, oh, but this homework is like, dude, why are you doing this? There's another. What about the project you have that's due next week? Have you started? No, I haven't started, and they're just doing this. But then, like whenever a moment of lucidity comes over me, I was like, wait a minute, I graduated 2 years ago. What? And then I woke up. That happens every time I feel like I haven't done enough work for the day.
That's hilarious.
But yes, now that we've won the pinball tournament, who else but the Eggman has come? His Wonderland is a pinball casino. That's not true. It's Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed, which I shall get to eventually when I have a PS3 or Xbox 360 to do, because I'm not doing the Wii version. Well, I could do the Wii version, but then I'd have to do it with somebody else, because then it would draw it out. But yes, now, you know what would be cool here? What I would do? Put an actual boss fight here. Like an actual, like, play Sonic Advance 1 boss fight.
It should be a boss fight where you are a pinball and a giant pinball machine.
Sonic's Pinball.
Oh, but we already did that too in Casino something.
Yeah, but Sonic's Pinball was actually fun.
Oh,
I hear,
cool.
But also hard. But here's the thing. Eggman challenges you, but he is a cheating bastard. What he did is like, okay, let's see who gets the most points at the end of 5 minutes. But his points go up by 200,000 every 2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds?
Well, every 1.5, I guess.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, so just like he's already at 1 million something. He's nearly at 2 million.
Oh wow, that's ridiculous.
The only way to defeat Eggman is to either activate the ring panel as fast as you can and make sure you get a whole bunch of rings, or the easier way, to activate the egg panel and then defeat Eggman on the board. Because defeating Eggman on the board is an automatic automatic 10 million points. So you just need to. The thing is though, is that in order to win, you basically have to activate egg mode and defeat Eggman 3 times in 5 minutes. And activating egg mode is hard. Because here's the thing, you can also, the clear bonus also works here. So you can get a few good bonuses in the millions, like if you're really good at this, but if you're not precise, especially when the points are counting down, the time is still going. So it really would have been best if I could just like move on to the other board so I can try and hurry up and activate egg mode. Because Eggman's almost at that 10,000 of his own accord.
Oh, so there's like a board rush?
Sort of. Like basically, after you clear an egg mode on a board, you move to another board. But but you do a clear bonus first. But the clear bonus takes time, and usually unless you're really skilled at getting the loops, you'll usually get like less points as whether you try to get the egg mode in the first place. So yeah, I'd really wish to continue to the next board. Thank you. Please.
You should just make yourself loose.
No, it won't let me because the ball save thing is active for the entire time.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, but so you have to activate either ring mode. I don't even know if ring mode is enough, but you have to activate egg mode 3 times, in order, and beat it 3 times in order to have an automatic win. So that's I'll get back to this once in about 3 minutes, because you get the point.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, about how my nightmares are hardcore and yours are you
Weak sauce and cartoons and stuff.
Exactly. Just like next you'll think just like you'll have a dream where word girl is there, but it turns out that every word in the dictionary has been erased.
That sounds awesome. I wish I wanted that dream right now. That sounds incredible.
But yeah, it's because I've gotten used to a whole bunch of other stuff. Wait a minute. Oh wow, I think I just died before the thing happened.
Good luck next time.
No, but here's the interesting thing. Wait until this is the bonuses stop counting, please. The bonuses stop, please. Hurry up. Wait a minute, it's still letting me. Oh, it is time limit, but the bonus stuff just like resets stuff. Okay, never mind then. So I guess I will get back to you. Get back to this. But yeah, because of all of that, because of the dreams I have, of course, I've developed lucid dreaming capabilities since I was 9. But the issue is that lucid dreaming is boring. Because there's one point where I tried to basically I was in a room and things were all weird and like, okay, no. And then I was in a room from like the hall at my church. I'm like, okay, let's make a game out of this. I'm going to try and recreate the hall from my church because it was completely empty. I was like, I'm going to try and recreate it to the best of my memory. And I was doing it, and then I did like I guess a really good job, and like, okay, now what? But then just like sitting there like, oh, whatever, fine, I'll back to randomness. And then I just went back to random dreams. But I have such weird control over my sleep, where my brain, apart from those 2 recent dreams that I just described to you, which makes me think that something supernatural was happening there. But my brain has like an auto nightmare filter, where if things aren't exactly going right and I can recognize it quick enough, my brain will be like, nope, before it actually reaches the nightmare shock point.
My brain just decides to always make my dreams sugar plums and gumdrops.
Yeah, apparently. But there's one point.
There was one really scary dream
that you didn't mention when you said the scariest dream and then my next scariest dream?
Yeah, because it wasn't that scary. There's like a wedding going on at my house.
Okay.
Or some party, and there's a fence. And I looked across the fence, and it was the generic Windows desktop background, like the Bliss.
Yes.
Oh, this looks lovely. But then at the other side of the field, there are a bunch of redcoats.
Redcoats?
For no reason. And they wanted to come over here and kill all of us. And we're like, hey guys, they're gonna kill us. And I don't know what happened. Because I woke
You were afraid of the redcoats coming?
Yeah.
You're not American.
Yeah, redcoats came to our country as
Yes,
well.
I know, but just like the whole joke about redcoats coming, that's an American thing.
Yeah, that's a true point.
Seriously, wow. But there's also by the way, this jackpot is worthless.
That was one of the few times where, because I remember like looking at that desktop background right before I went to sleep, and I just dreamt about it right after.
Before we continue this, check what happens when we lose. Because I was so close. This is like... Yeah, now Eggman rules the world.
Because you lost at pinball.
Yeah, because we lost at pinball, Sonic is helpless to stop Eggman taking over the world.
I mean, this is pretty much Eggman bringing himself down to Sonic's level. Sonic is like, I can't catch you because of your unmatched speed.
Because he's the fastest thing alive.
So basically...
Man, no, dude, anybody who doesn't see our Sonic playthroughs and is coming to this is like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, but they should know. I mean, it's common knowledge that Eggman's faster than Sonic. So, because of Sonic, Sonic's like, I can't ever live up to you on your unmatched speed. So basically, the only way I'm going to challenge you to pinball, and Eggman, because he's so fast, strong, and smart. He's a triple threat, pretty much. He's like, I will lower myself to your level because I am confident I'll be able to beat you. And this was proof.
Oh my gosh. It's funny how you have so much quote unquote respect for Eggman when Dr. Wily shows up.
Next, screw that guy. Yeah, I super respect Eggman.
I wonder how you'll react to Sigma.
Who's that guy?
Mega Man X. He's the guy who's behind everything.
Okay, man. I mean, I don't respect Cortex at all.
Well, not a lot of people do.
I don't respect Cortex's world at all.
Yeah, you don't, but we haven't played.
Either.
I mean, you don't know much about Crash 1 to 3, so.
That's true.
But I do still have Crash Twinsanity, but I had Tag Team Racing recorded, and oh man, well, we can always still play Twinsanity. And I have Wrath of Cortex. Okay, fine, me. I mean, I had no plans of you actually doing it, but still.
I know. That's why I exaggeratedly said we.
Yes.
I was going to exaggeratedly say it again, but nah.
Yeah, this is way above your pay grade, which is nothing. Yeah, so the issue is that there's one point where I was dreaming that I was like Mega Man, like a Mega Man X character, and I was like fighting these, like, okay, this is cool, I'm having fun, and then suddenly the Yellow Devil shows up, but the Yellow Devil the size of a skyscraper. The terror looking up at that thing with its one unfeeling eye looking down, knowing it is going to wreck me. Just like, oh, no, I'm like running, but of course the whole dream running thing is like, oh no, this isn't working. And then it totally like whomps me, and I'm like hiding behind a building totally weird, and then I see its eye like peering over the building that I'm hiding behind, like this is gonna suck. And the memory is like, yeah, it is gonna suck. And then I just like wake up.
Speaking of evil leaders, it's weird.
Yes, it is.
I was waiting for you to respond. It's weird.
Why are you doing it again?
Because I wanted to see if you respond again. It's weird how Bowser always loses, but people still respect Bowser as a villain.
Well, he's really actually strong and durable and such, and he occasionally comes up with a good plan.
Yeah, and he usually gets far. If his plan is not just, I'm going to run away from Mario and hope he doesn't reach me, he usually does get far in his plans.
I mean, there was literally one point where he became actually invincible, so.
And there was...
Whoa, what the heck happened there?
Even as a baby...
Oh, hold on, I think I lost some footage there or something.
Well... Even as a baby, he was able to pretty much be all-powerful.
Well, that was Kamek's help.
Yeah, but still. Kamek respected him enough even as a child.
He was a prince. He had to respect him.
And who was his father to make him just a prince?
I mean, I have an entire...
mother?
I actually have a theory about that, but that's back when I reclaim it because my scripts are gone too.
Okay, we'll see about that. Is he related to the Yoshis?
No, that's not what the theory is about.
Okay.
But yeah, so
the prince is that he was a prince because he was Princess Peach. Oh wait, no, she was also a baby. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway,
Princess Peach is an older sister.
No.
Also, is it confirmed that Rosalina's planet is Mushroom Kingdom planet?
Is it? I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, so between all of that, like Bowser does do some cool stuff. Eggman does a lot of stuff that he's like super deadly and super competent. Bowser can be stopped by other people. Almost nobody else can stop Eggman but Sonic and his friends. But mostly Sonic.
Yeah.
Hence Sonic Forces. But
stupid.
Yes, it's a bit stupid, but I
don't like when a franchise makes it so that one person is so above everyone else that they're all useless. I don't like that.
And I hate it because they're not useless. They are useful, especially Silver. Silver should have done so much better, but no. And where was Shadow? Whatever. The thing is that Eggman does a lot of stuff and can do it easily and just back to back. And he's an expert researcher, so he knows about ancient gods of destruction, etc., etc. Dr. Wily, though, But his plans are really simple. Like, really
It
simple.
usually involves commandeering other people's things.
Yeah. So, I mean, his first fully combat robot, like not like his first sentient combat robot, because he had the security machine. He copied Mega Man's data, and then he had his Wily machine, which was just like it was like a vehicle. But his first combat robot was the Yellow Devil, which really speaks to his potential.
Yeah, but the first Yellow Devil is also the almost best.
Yeah, the almost best. Dude, when we get to the Shadow Devil, you are not going to believe it.
What Mega Man's that?
X5.
Oh, that's fire.
It is fire.
But is he alive in X5? So that's not his invention then.
Actually, dude,
Or does he go full Winter Soldier and he's a
it's implied that that there are programs of him running around some round. There are a lot of theories depending on characters, but the thing is that X4 and X5 really push that maybe Wily's program is like a program, or put himself in a Reploid or something like that. The thing is that X5 has a whole bunch of like throwback stuff where they rebuild a boss from Mega Man X1 to be even better. But then just like you go down into a pit, or just like in an old laboratory, and then you see like the Wily symbol in the background, and then the Shadow Devil forms, meaning that it's possible that either he was working on it before he died and went to the program form, or him in the program form gave Sigma the information on Devil's robots, because up till this point, nobody has the technology to create Devil robots but Wily. Only Wily knows how to do it. It's changed later in Mega Man Zero, where somebody appropriates the technology, because I think the Wily program at that point is probably dead. But somebody does appropriate the Devil technology in Mega Man Zero.
Also, I mean, I can't say that because I'm a Zelda fan, but hundreds of years of constant back and forth between good and bad guys. And
dude, they
war.
actually do reference that.
Yeah.
Like, there are consequences. So many. Humanity gets screwed over, like, in terms of its main population, like, so many times.
But yeah, that's something where I'm like, that seems pushing it. But then again, I'm a huge Zelda fan, so it means nothing. I can't.
It's because humanity keeps. First off, it's because humanity keeps building Reploids the wrong way.
Yeah, it should be like, I can't say Iron Man, because
the issue is that even in Mega Man X6, humanity was just like, okay, like we need more Reploids than the Maverick Hunter Force, because this is ridiculous. It's like after X5, which is huge explosion wiping out a whole lot of the Earth or whatever, it's like no, we need to do something. But then that got messed up. And then X8 was like, okay, that's it. We're making we're putting out all our efforts to make super Reploids that cannot be turned Maverick, because that's a virus that makes Reploids go crazy. Like, they are immune to being Maverick. We've done it. But then somebody replaced out because they got different versions of their own copy chips, but somebody replaced them with Sigma chips, meaning that they all turned into Sigma. So now all those new generation Reploids who are better are now Sigma. All of them are now Sigma. Good job, guys.
That's stupid. They should just not make robots.
So, I mean, Mega Man Zero, after a huge war engulfed the entire planet, they basically stopped. Because they basically okay, these Reploids are now in Neo Arcadia, where most humans are.
That's a satisfying ending.
What, in Mega Man Zero?
Like the last Mega Man.
The last Mega Man game in the timeline is Mega Man Legends 2.
So the Mega Man Legends is still along the whole XZX timeline?
Yes, it's just way far in the future.
And so that ends in a cliffhanger then?
Yes.
So I'm thinking, does it end in where everything seems okay, we're finally going to...
Here's the thing, Mega Man Legends, even though like the world is mostly covered by water and humans were reconstituted from old human DNA, because most of them were wiped out at this point.
Who brought them back? Robots?
Robots and the last remaining human, who lived on the moon. So yeah, because of all of that, just life is peaceful, basically. Like, there's no huge robot attacks or whatever. There are Reaver bots, which are basically things that only exist in the dungeons. Then only if you want to be a digger who gets treasure and whatever in the dungeons, only if you want to risk those, then that's where the only Reaver bots are. The only other threats are pirates.
Oh, so the plot is kind of separate from the. It's not a huge world-ending plot. It's more self-contained.
Yeah, it's more self-contained. The world already ended. This is just like everything's been remade back to like how it's in like in the 1990s or the 2000s basically, and everyone's just living into. There's just a lot more water, and everyone's peaceful. Just the dungeons have some stuff in it, and just that don't go in the dungeons if you're not prepared. But otherwise, the only thing to worry about in the universe until the robots from the moon start having different reinitialization orders. Until those happen, and that's where the story sort of picks up it to a bit. Until those specifically happen, just there's peace. Just the only thing to worry about is pirates.
Okay, that's not so bad. It only took them 10,000 years.
Yep, only 10,000 years of the world ending like 3 times over.
I mean, that sounds like where we're headed.
But yeah, this has been, holy crap, an hour and a half of us talking. Wow, I didn't think we'd, just like when you were saying, just like, oh, are we going to do it? We did it.
Yeah, so.
By the way, it's turned out, we should probably sign off before like turns out the phone battery is on, or this is too much for the stuff to handle.
No, I'm assuming that maybe space would run out.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So yeah. This is probably going to be, oops, that loud noise. This is probably going to be once a month.
Maybe, depends. Most likely.